Now, look, let's start with Meghan Markle.
Why not?
So the couple have been begging for privacy, and South Park has done a parody of this.
Down with the motorhead, we deserve our privacy.
First guest, the prince and his wife.
We want privacy, we want privacy.
People who want privacy don't do that. You live your life quietly in privacy, so it's such hypocrisy. I think they did a brilliant job.
South Park just destroys Meghan Markle. And honestly, it wasn't even a fair fight. The show turned her royal authenticity into a full-blown comedy sketch, baby bump and all. If Meghan thought she was controlling the narrative, South Park just snatched the script and lit it on fire.
We want privacy, we want privacy, we want privacy, we want privacy.
South Park didn't just throw a few jokes at Meghan Markle, they went straight for the jugular. The episode titled Respect Our Privacy opens with a scene so outrageous. Meghan's animated clone storms into a hospital room, glowing, dramatic, and ready for the cameras.
When the song come on, let me see you get gone. Baby mama, this shot's on, been pregnant for way too.
She starts dancing, twerking in her hospital gown, while Harry hovers awkwardly in the background like he doesn't even know where to put his hands. But then it happens. The massive pillow she's been using as a baby bump slips out and smashes to the floor. Viewers gasped, then burst into laughter.
You game-loving wife has always wanted her privacy. And you know what else? To hell with Canada, we are leaving. We'll go find some quiet place where we can be normal people. Come on, wife. We want privacy. We want privacy.
Sam, it summed him up so well, didn't it?
It's hysterical, and even adds like a distance, resemblance or likeness. What I thought was so glaring and so brilliant about it is it's true. For people who pay PR, they say they hate journalists. Harry hates journalists. But to pay PR, that is loaded with journalists and that is loaded with publications and television shows who say what you want and who, shape social perception in your favor while also disparaging and lying about others, thereby reaching their privacy. I think the whole, worldwide privacy tour is hysterical because you're, in my opinion and the opinion of others, they're putting themselves on the world stage using expensive PR while demanding privacy, while writing books, while being on Oprah that had 50 million viewers. People who want privacy don't do that. You live your life quietly in privacy, so it's such hypocrisy. I think they did a brilliant job. Really.
I think they did too. Now, the second clip maybe gets a little too close to the reality of what it's like inside Sussex Inc. Look.
And here's the kicker. South Park didn't make that up. It was a parody of something Meghan actually filmed herself. Long before Trey Parker and Matt Stone got their hands on it, Meghan had posted a so-called empowering hospital video. Lighting was flawless, her glam was perfect, and yes, Harry was there awkwardly bobbing along like a lost extra. It was supposed to be raw and relatable. Instead, the internet tore it apart. People mocked it as staged, tone deaf, even desperate. So when South Park exaggerated it into a total disaster, the sting was twice as hard. People weren't just laughing at a cartoon, they were laughing at the reality Meghan herself had put out into the world.
And apparently it has really upset Meghan Markle. She's apparently spent days being upset and overwhelmed, according to sources, over this parody which picks apart all of their publicity blitz while at the same time begging for privacy.
And that grenade blew up right at the heart of Meghan and Harry's biggest contradiction. For years, they've stood in front of cameras, signing million-dollar deals, writing books, and launching documentaries, all while chanting the same line: we want privacy. South Park didn't need to exaggerate that, they just echoed it back to us with brutal honesty.
We want privacy, we want privacy, we want privacy, we want.
Harry's animated self stomps into the hospital screaming, "Respect our pregnancy," a line that instantly became a meme. It captured everything people felt about the couple, the hypocrisy, the irony, the way they claimed to shun attention yet never stopped demanding more of it. Audiences weren't confused anymore. They saw the truth. Meghan and Harry don't avoid the spotlight, they weaponize it. And that's why this episode cut so deep. South Park didn't invent a storyline. They held up a mirror, they showed the contradiction in its rawest form, and they didn't blink. It's the kind of satire that hits harder because it doesn't feel like fiction, it feels like fact. The more you watch, the clearer it becomes. Meghan has spent years shaping her brand into something royal, powerful, untouchable. She presents herself as a humanitarian, a modern princess, a visionary woman breaking barriers. But South Park strips that veneer away in seconds. On screen, she's not regal, she's a caricature, obsessed with attention, frantic for the spotlight, caught up in her own contradictions.
Oh no.
Look at this town. I think this might be the place.
You really think so?
It was commented that what we see from Meghan is always staged, always polished, always performative. That's why audiences couldn't look away. They weren't just entertained, they were seeing something they had suspected all along, that Meghan's so-called raw and vulnerable moments are carefully manufactured props. That's why the laughter was so sharp. It wasn't just about Meghan as a character on a cartoon. It was about Meghan as a brand, a woman who built a Hollywood identity on privacy, empowerment, and authenticity, but can't stop turning even her most intimate moments into stage plays. If you've made it this far, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single detail of South Park.
Thanks for having us on the show.
It's so awesome to be here. It's great.
So let me start with you, Sam. You've lived a life with the royal family, you've had everything handed to you, but you say your life has been hard, and now you've written all about it in your new book, Win. Yes, that's right, friend. You see, my wife and I
I
are...
was totally like, you should write a book because your family's like stupid, and then so are like journalists. We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard.
And the irony didn't stop there. South Park painted Meghan as someone who refuses to admit what she's actually become. A reality TV star without the courage to say it out loud. The glamorous filter ripped off. All that's left is a contradiction in heels.
They're like, oh, you wouldn't pay attention to us. What are we gonna do?
He's not gonna get away with this.
This is why the episode exploded far beyond Comedy Central. It didn't just mock, it exposed. It tore down the wall between Meghan's polished image and the awkward reality hiding behind it. And once that wall crumbled, the internet did the rest.
So if you want privacy, why do you do Oprah? Why do you do a Netflix series? Why do you write a book? Why do you do every interview imaginable and then come back again and say, I want privacy?
South Park has always been savage. They've roasted politicians, celebrities, entire religions, but this time felt different. This time the parody struck a nerve because it lined up too closely with real life. Meghan wasn't just a target, she was the punchline she had accidentally written herself.
We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy. We want privacy.
And here's the harsh truth. Once South Park freezes you into pop culture, you can't undo it. Meghan Markle will forever be the woman with the falling baby bump, the twerking hospital gown, and the husband screaming, "Respect our pregnancy." That image isn't going away, because South Park didn't exaggerate. They didn't distort. They just told the story Meghan herself had been telling, only louder, funnier, and without mercy. And for millions of viewers, it finally made sense.
Also caring for an unemployed immigrant.
People were saying, meh, it's not meh. It's pronounced me.
Let's talk about that video. The hospital clip Meghan Markle probably wishes she could wipe off the face of the internet. You know the one? Shot in glossy, documentary-style lighting where Meghan is in a hospital gown, moving around like it's her runway debut. She smiles, she dances, she even throws in a little twerk while poor Harry stands off to the side, bobbing his head. A glimpse behind the curtain, something empowering. But instead of going viral for being raw and authentic, it became a masterclass in cringe.
We just want to be normal people. All this attention is so hard.
Well, I just think some people might say that your Instagram-loving bitch wife actually does want her privacy. How dare you, sir? And you
We're
know what
just
else? To hell
the
with Canada.
worst.
We are leaving.
We want privacy. We want privacy.
And that's when the narrative shifted. What Meghan thought would be her Beyoncé moment, a cultural reset, a display of strength and womanhood, became her biggest PR disaster. Instead of people saying, wow, she's brave, the conversation became, why does this look like an SNL skit that forgot to add the laugh track? And South Park didn't just mock it, they cemented it in pop culture. Now, that hospital clip doesn't exist on its own anymore. It will forever live in people's minds as the South Park parody.
And what's really interesting to me is following that South Park
mockery of them, which really highlighted all their hypocrisies. Their approval ratings now have fallen below Prince Andrew's in America.
And here's the thing, this wasn't just comedy. Critics didn't hold back in describing what South Park did. Headlines called it a brutal roast, a cultural assassination, even a career eulogy. That's not just parody, that's legacy damage.
Oh, darling, I think this might be the place.
You really think so?
It's so quiet and empty here. If we moved here, then people would think we're really serious about wanting to be normal.
And Meghan, unfortunately, gave them perfect material. The contradictions, the staged privacy mantra, the polished authenticity, and yes, the cringeworthy video that already had the internet rolling its eyes. South Park didn't have to dig deep. They just connected the dots she'd already drawn for them.
Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we? If it's truly what we want, then we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life. Yes, I'm sure you agree, darling. We can be the people we talked about being, with no more worries about how we look or the image we project to people. What matters is what we have on the inside.
It didn't help that Meghan and Harry's Spotify deal had already collapsed, with insiders calling the couple grifters. Their Netflix partnership wasn't exactly thriving either. Viewership was lackluster after the initial curiosity wore off. So when South Park dropped their roast, it wasn't just another meme. It became the nail in the coffin. Suddenly, Meghan went from brand gold to brand liability. That's the power of South Park. They didn't just make fun of Meghan for a night, they reshaped the way people see her. Overnight, she wasn't just the Duchess who left the palace. She became the Duchess who got roasted so badly by a cartoon that Hollywood started pulling away. If you've come this far, make sure to subscribe to the channel to get more updates.